During the Dynasty tour in 1979, tensions in Kiss escalated, especially between Peter Criss and Paul Stanley. From all accounts, Peter was miserable and severely abusing drugs and alcohol. During a concert, Peter was playing erratically and Paul signaled him to slow down. Feeling humiliated and pissed off that Paul would do that in front of the audience, Peter decided to mess with his tempos on purpose, randomly slowing down and speeding up. Feeling that Peter had sabotaged the band on stage, the other three members decided to fire Peter. After the tour, Paul, Ace Frehley, and Gene Simmons teamed up with producer Vinnie Poncia to make their next record. Anton Fig played drums. Despite his face being on the cover, Peter is not featured on Unmasked at all. After the record's completion, manager Bill Aucoin convinced the band to give Peter a second chance. They decided to meet for a rehearsal. Paul said, "The day of the rehearsal, Peter walked in carrying a music stand and sheet music. The first thing he said was, 'I'll have to have all your songs on sheet music because I read music now.' Peter sat down, put his sheet music on the stand, and studied it for a while. Mind you, this rehearsal was of old material, not the new stuff we had written and recorded for Unmasked. We wanted to see if he could even play the songs he already knew. The rehearsal did not go well. It was over." With the Unmasked tour about to start and no drummer, Kiss held auditions to replace Peter and found Paul Caravello. He changed his name to Eric Carr and became the Fox. Unmasked was released on May 20th, 1980. The cover was done by artist Victor Stabin, and it's really cool. I love the comic book style. The opener was written by Gerard McMahon. He said, "I was inspired to write the song late one night on a Midwest tour. After the gig, I was sitting at the bar drinking a whiskey, and this girl came up to me, dressed in black leather with handcuffs at her waist and a whip in her back pocket. After contemplating the adventurous night that could lay ahead, I headed back to my room and wrote the lyric and music for Is That You after my interesting meeting with the dominatrix." I really like this song. The pre-chorus in particular is really great. Paul played the guitar solo. In terms of production, I think the album is a step back from Dynasty. The guitars lost their crunch, and it's a little keyboard heavy. However, the bass sounds good, although not as good as Dynasty, and the drums are still big and powerful. Fig kills it on this track and the entire record. Written by Paul and Poncia, Paul is actually the only member of Kiss to play on this song. Fig played drums, Tom Harper played bass, Holly Knight played keyboards, and Paul played all of the guitar parts. The song was inspired by Bruce Springsteen's Sandy. Poncia came up with the title, naming the song after the singer Shandy Cinnamon. I love this song. These are wonderful lyrics. The vocals are great, and the bass line is good. The music video for the song was Peter's last appearance with the band until the 1996 reunion tour. Written by Ace, he played bass on this track. Ace's guitar is tuned to the Keith Richards style open G, which is a little unique for the band. They typically tune in E flat. This is an amazing song, one of Ace's best. There's a little more distortion on the guitar, which is nice. I like the main riff a lot. The song is catchy with great lyrics and fantastic drumming from Fig. This is a Kiss standout. This song was written by Gene, Bob Kulick, Pepe Castro, and Poncia. Lyrically, it was based on New York. Gene said, "Bob Kulick played me the riff for Naked City. It hit me at that point how New York City was really like that old TV show Naked City. It was just imagery of cities. Everybody's got their own story. There are 8 million stories in the Naked City." I do really like the lyrics on this one. There's also great singing and great bass playing from Gene. It's a good song. Written by Paul and Poncia, Paul played lead guitar on this one. The song is really cheesy and really sappy, but I find it endearing. I like it. I think it's a good pop song with a great bass line. Written by Paul and Poncia, Paul played bass on this one. Like the last one, it's really cheesy and sappy, but I love it. I find the whole vibe of the song really appealing. It's my favorite track on the record. I think it was a mistake to never play this live. Written by Ace, he played bass. This is another great song and a standout from Ace. Lyrically, it's essentially humble bragging about having to choose between two groupies, but it's fun with the catchy chorus. And Fig nails the drums with some really stellar fills. This was written by Gene and Poncia. The latter said, "Writing with Gene was different. There was no bearing of his soul. It was strictly writing the best song you could, but it didn't necessarily have to mean anything." The song is generically about just some European girl, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. The lyrics are fun, and I like the pre-chorus a lot. And I love the drum sound. They sound really, really big. Written by Paul and Poncia, the former played bass and lead guitar. I like the main bass riff that builds into the guitar riff. It's probably my least favorite track on the record. It's decently catchy, but nothing great. Written by Ace and Poncia, Ace played bass. I really love the bass riff and how it complements the main guitar riff, and Fig's drumming is great too. I like how the song builds, starting with Fig and then going from there. It's a cool song. Written by Gene and Poncia, Gene played rhythm guitar and Paul played lead guitar. It's a very sweet song with great vocals. I especially love Paul's background vocals, but I will say that the chorus is a little busy. I think this song would have benefited from a simpler approach. Unmasked peaked at number 35 on the US charts, the band's lowest since Hotter Than Hell. It was certified gold shortly after release, but it was their first album since Dressed to Kill to not go platinum. The first single was Shandy, which Neil Bogart hoped would prove just as popular as I Was Made for Lovin' You. It peaked at number 47. The second single, Tomorrow, failed to chart. Overseas, the record was much more successful, especially in Europe and Australia. Shandy became a top 10 hit in Australia and New Zealand. And Talk to Me was a modest hit in different parts of Europe. Unmasked was poorly timed. 1980 was not the time for Kiss to do a power pop album. Rock was moving in a heavier direction at the time. 1980 is the year AC/DC released Back in Black. So while AC/DC is singing about, hell's bells, Kiss is singing, She's So European. I Was Made for Lovin' You certainly got Kiss some new fans, but not ones willing to stick around. Without a hit single, none of those people cared, and Kiss had alienated their core fans. I will say, however, that I love Unmasked. It is cheesy and overproduced, and I understand the people that want a bit more of an edge from Kiss. But I think these are great pop songs that are catchy, memorable, and well written. It was the wrong album for the time, but I have a soft spot for it.